Hi, Isabel. Let's Learn Play at HC, the place to be to develop your skills and grow your potential. So today I wanted to do a short video to help people how to position themselves on LinkedIn, on social media, because I've seen a little bit of everything out there with good, bad, and not so good. So I wanted to help you, give you some tips so that you can improve your communication on LinkedIn in order to get the kind of information that you want. So the first thing is really to keep it short and simple. I see a lot of people include their resume as attachment in the post. I see people who have long-winded emails type of communication that's not really proper for a post. Most of the time on social media in a post, you would only put a few words. That said, sometimes on Facebook, people, especially when they're companies or they're marketing products, they will put a lot of information out there. I've seen that happen, but I would say when you're someone looking for a position and you're in the job search category, you don't want to have posts that are a little bit too long because people won't pay attention and won't read everything. Remember, you have so much when you look on your feed of information, who's going to read the details. So really the post is just an eye catcher. And most of the time what you see companies do or individuals is that they'll have a link that will lead you to another page if people want to read the whole thing about something. So usually the post is very short, attract the attention, and if you want more, click here. You could even have a click where people go to your personal page and then you have your resume there. That would be appropriate. But don't try to have like a very long post with a very long resume attached. That's a little bit too much in my view. So keep it short and simple. The second thing is to avoid posting your photo as an addition to your photo that's already existing on LinkedIn. So if you put, for example, you have your photo and then you include your photo and you say, please click if you like to help me find a job, which I've seen many times. In my view, that comes across as a little bit overconfident. So again, second tip is really work on your positioning, between complete lack of confidence to overconfident, because none of these two extremes are going to work for you. If the employer thinks you're overly confident, that's not attractive. If you're desperate and you're complaining about your job search and complaining about the whole world, that's not ideal either. So you want to keep it where you're open, you're positive, you know what you're worth, you know your skills, and you're just out there to get information. That's my main message. So leading me to tip number 3 is really to work on your post. Think about what you're going to say in there. What are your skills? What are you good at? What's your expertise? So I wrote a book, an ebook called My Career, which I will put the link below, that helps you go through all these different stages of finding out what your skills are, what you're looking for. So it's a little bit of a self-discovery. And once you have done this work, you're in a better position to sell yourself because you understand who you are, you understand what you can bring. And this way, when you communicate, whether it's on LinkedIn or in any other platform, you know exactly what you're looking for. You're very clear. So you attract employers more because they know if they can help you or not. So that's tip number 3, is really know yourself, know what you offer. And tip number 4 is really about forgetting this whole notion of job seeker and really positioning yourself as a provider, as a solutions person. So you're not there to ask for something, but you're there to bring something. And remember, when you're asking people to do something, it has to be at this stage when it's in a post, more of a collaboration. So you may ask people to give you feedback. You may ask people to give you information about specific companies if they know, but you definitely don't want to say, contact me if you have a job, because that's a little bit too direct. And most people won't be able to do that. So you're losing maybe on people who could have contributed but are not going to because they don't have a job for you. So you don't want to ask for a job directly, and you don't want to ask people to do something like likes and comments. This is something that should come naturally. So if you're putting a post and you're explaining your positioning, your profile, naturally people will like it if they agree with you or they will share it. But asking people, I find that when people say put a like to help me with my job search, I find that's a little bit too, it's giving me too much direction and order to do something, and I find that's a little bit too intrusive. And I find that people who do that tend to be a little bit too overconfident in a way. It's like, I'm so good, you should like my profile. So again, this is just my advice as someone who's on the other side of the equation here, as the more thinking more in terms of recruiter. and you're the person who wants to be recruited. So I would say keep it simple, keep it short. To go back to my different points, don't include your photo as an addition to a photo you already have on LinkedIn. Don't direct people to do things, especially to give you a job, but make it more collaboration, where you're out there to learn, to collaborate with others, to understand where they're coming from, to give you information on the market. Again, going back to that, most people don't know the market, especially they're expats. They have no clue what companies are out there, what the companies are offering, or what the companies are needing. So you need information before you go out there. I mean, think about it as you're going to make a speech on something. It wouldn't cross your mind to come to the session to make a speech and have nothing prepared. Of course, you want to understand what you're going to talk about, who's your audience, what do they need, and then you make the speech. So it's the same thing. To be able to market yourself very well, you need to understand who are the companies, what they're looking for, what's the market like. So this whole part, I find job seekers tend to pass by and they go straight into give me a job, which in my view is not realistic.